Hey YouTube, coming at you with the Jungle Cup team, and basically how it came about was I found that this meta is pretty open. Like you see a variety of everything. You got your Alterias and Talonflames as your flyers. You got your Mud Boys, and I saw Quagsire and Gastrodon, and then you got uh, like normal type Pokemon and Dedenne, and it just seems like it's kind of like the Open Great League, just with a lot not as many Annihilates and Primates because they're they're banned and a few other the meta Pokemon. But otherwise, it feels like the Open Great League. So I'm like, okay, what do I do here? I'm just gonna go with what I feel is just the three safest Pokemon in the meta. So I actually started with Furret, just because I know how strong it is in the Open Great League, and I know that fighting is not one of the main typings. And whenever fighting is not one of the main typings, and normal is in, normal typing already gets an automatic boost up. And then what I did was I just went to PV Poke and I looked at the switches, and I'm like, what are some of the top switches in the meta? And in CRUSTLE and Drapion. So I'm like, okay, CRUSTLE, Drapion, good metas, good switches, fast charging, Rock Wrecker in 13, X Scissor in 10, Crunch in 10, Octail in 8. You know, you got spam all over the place here. You got a little bit of bulk and Ferret. CRUSTLE is not too bad for bulk, so let's test it out. So I did okay with this team. Your limitations are steals are a bit tough. I don't know how many steals I saw, but steals were bug and rock and poison are all, and swift and trailblazer are all resisted. So that's going to be one of the biggest issues, is steel. And then I also found I had a bit problem with some, I think flyers. You have rock wreck for crustal, but like the X Scissor and Fury Cut are resisted, so it makes it a bit tricky on the lead. And then obviously you're double weak to fighting. Crustle and Fret are weak to fighting. And I did see a couple Pangoros because I think people realize that fighting is very missing in this meta. So tough lead, right? It would be okay if I could have thrown, if I had like a Smackdown or something, but Fury Cutter is very resisted on the fire and the flying. So you just say swap into Drapion. One Aquatail does not take out. So going to shield up this Night Slash, knowing that I'm going to get at least two more off. So it's either I'm going to flip switch here, or I'm going to take this, flip switch or grab two shields. And here comes the next one. They are going to have a bunch of energy coming out if they do shield this. Otherwise, I'm going to grab two shields, and they do let it go. So that is okay. I expect the Talonflame to come in and incinerate. That's smart. Getting that extra damage there. So now they're basically at 100 energy, which means they're pretty close to two moves already, if not at two moves. So here comes the first fly, and they get into Cradilly, and Cradilly is a grass, which means it is weak to Fury Cutter and X Scissor, and the spam on this thing is going to outpace them to the Rock Tomb, which is also super effective, by the way, because you are half bug. So going to shield up a potential Rock Tomb here. Again, I know I outpace. These X Scissors, Fury Cutters are adding up, so I'm going to overfarm just a little bit. Can't do too much. Hoping that the lowering of the attack does not stop this, but it does. But now I can get into Ferret and basically get a head-on energy / snipe here. And the Talonflame comes in. I have the Swift. If this is enough to take it, I think it was like 1 HP, and they did get a move off, which is fine, because now it is actually in Fury Cutter range. And I end up Fury Cutter down the Talonflame and Fury Cutter the Cradilly out of there. Tokus, right? Here we go again. Another flyer where Fury Cutter X's are resisted. At the same time, Sucker Punch is resisted. So came into Drapion just to be met with a Quagsire, which is not ideal. It is a Water Gun Quagsire, so they do shield up one. I assume it's just an Aqua Tail. They probably need the fastest spamming move they can get if they're running a Water Gun. And I do get to a second Crunch, so this is okay. I've already grabbed one shield. If I can chip, that is good. I have to come Ferret because Crustle is half rock, which means it is weak to water. So basically, I just need to get ahead on Ferret here. I'd be surprised if I shield anything. So there's an Aqua Tail that does chip. And out comes the Pangoro, and I am double weak to this thing. So going Trailblaze, I don't really know why I'm going Trailblaze. I probably should just go Devil Swift. But boost my attack, which is resisted anyways, doesn't make sense. Need to respect the close combat or a Rock Slide. And they try to catch the X-Scissor on Togekiss, and I held back, and I'm at a Rock Wrecker. And now they let it go, which is huge for me, or else I would have had to shield up a move. But now he just X-Scissor down. I think I probably could have outpaced because I was already at a Rock Wrecker, but I know they had a couple pecks at the beginning there, so it would have been close. This one is against a Mudshot Quagsire, which has Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail, again, being super effective. And because of that, I do make a catch on Furret, one in catch. Catching that, what would be super effective Aqua Tail. They're at a second move. That's okay. Whenever I come in a safe swap like this, I don't like shielding because you don't know if you're going to get punished anyways. And it is a Quagsire. So, did not shield, but now potentially in Poison Sting range. Depends how aggressive they want to be here. Because I will get to another move for sure here. Can I get to a third move if they try and Poison Sting down? It's going to be close. So, here comes the second Swift. And it looks like they may, yeah, they kind of recognize that I may get to a third Swift and they really don't want to take that unnecessarily. They throw a Sludge Bomb. So I'm going to come Drapion knowing that they threw a Sludge Bomb, which means they probably need to go to an Earthquake. I don't need to worry about the Stone Edge. They end up baiting me here. So now it's going to force my Aqua Tail a little quicker here. So here comes the first Aqua Tail. I just assumed with a shield that they're at an Earthquake. So I'm like, there's really no other reason to shield besides having an Earthquake. And they Sludge Bomb me again. So, you know, clearly not counting there. Get to the next Aqua Tail. And I think, oh yeah, I think I labeled this one so neither of us are counting. Because they shield as I then outpace them to the Aqua Tail again. So we'll take it out. Truly a 2500 ELO range where people are not counting here. Golisopod comes in and I think I had maybe just a bit of energy, or they just did not also not count my energy because I get to the Rock Wrecker. This will one-shot. It's super effective, and it's a nuke. Goodbye, Golisopod. Out comes Quagsire, and they know it's over. Scizor. I said Steels. Scizor is the toughest one because obviously super effective on the rock, resisting the Fury Cutter and X-Scissor. Poison Sting's resisted, and Sucker Punch is fine, but you actually do have the same pacing to Swift and Night Slash, and Night Slash Swift. Night Slash is enough to take you out. Like they're just going double Night Slash here, as you're going to be able to see. So I burn one shield on it, and I know this is the order of operations. I should have pinned that comment. Someone mentioned the order of operation when it comes to these things. And I think this is not the first time this has happened to me. I have a 1 HP and a charge move, and I get hit with a 1-turn Dragon Breath. So I forget the order of operation, but I think it's something like the fast move goes first, then the charge move, then switch, or something like that, in terms of the order of operations. So if they're coming in and we're doing a 1-turn Dragon Breath, and I'm doing what costs 1-turn charge move, I think the order of operation allows that Dragon Breath to take me out before my move is able to be thrown. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Someone had a fantastic comment on it. I forgot what video that was on, but they talked about the order of operation. So if you're watching this video and you want to drop the order of operation again, it was a very helpful comment, and I'll pin it when I see it. Okay, so obviously puts us in an absolutely terrible situation. Had I gotten off the Swift on the Charizard, that would have already grabbed a shield, and now I would have had 2 shields. So I'm trying to think Drapion's probably my win con, like maybe a double fire team, because Charizard over the safe swap, but because I'm only running Fury Cutter, not doing anything to the Charizard, just hoping that I can Aqua Tail my way through this. And speak about not counting, they get to another move, and I'm already pretty low. So it's just like a mixture of like going down with all that energy on Furret because of that Dragon Breath damage registering. CMP tie here, so I should have had a shield already. Shouldn't have had to use a shield there. Not that it matters, they have Marowak in the back, but it was double weak to water, but still tough. Galarian Moltres. So half dark. It is a flyer, but it's half dark. So Fury Cutter and X-Scissor are neutral. So I'm going to fake the Rock Wrecker at least, hoping to grab a shield. And then I do have to shield up their move. But then as I'm getting down with these Fury Cutters, I'm like, these Fury Cutters are actually tripping quite a lot. I don't even know if I need a Rock Wrecker because they're already in the yellow. An X Scissor is a decent move. So I throw the X Scissor, and I guess less optimal IVs on these Pokemon here allowed me to get that off. So swapped into Drapion, swapped into Furret. Furret and Drapion both play as safe swaps here. Swapped into Furret into the Scizor, not to have the super effective hitting the Crustle, knowing that Drapion can eventually align on the Scizor. I almost want a shield here. A shield would help me, but they think they smartly recognize like, oh, I don't need to shield this because I can just bullet punch down. And then I was hoping that both moves are resisted. I was hoping they throw a resisted move and then I could shield up the next one. But in doing so, because it's a Trailblaze, they boosted their attack. And now I'm not going to get to that next Aqua Tail. And then they bullet punch me down and tried to like, I don't think transfer it. I just tried to like, yeah. So I maybe should have shielded the first one. But that is what it is. Charge Bug. Okay, so Electric and X Scissor are both neutral on me. I don't need to shield up a move. I am going to shield one up. I have a Rock Wrecker, and they try to catch on a Quagsire. So I do not have an amazing answer for Quagsire. Coming in Furret here because, yes, I would have a super effective Aqua Tail, but it'd still take like 3 to take out the Quagsire, and they have Earthquake, and I'm down a shield already. So I really don't want to get into Drapion, where yes, I could spam super effective Aqua Tails, but they have a Earthquake and an energy advantage, and then it just puts me in a terrible situation. So I'd rather just come in Furret here, chip a ton with Sucker Punch and Swift, and then if I get taken out here, fine. Then I can come in Drapion and Aqua Tail before they get to the next move here. And they don't even get out, so I do get to a Swift here. This will take out. Am I going to go down or am I going to instant swap? I'm going to instant swap to not want to let them get a full Volt Switch through, right? Because that's a lot of energy. So come in here and sniping with the X Scissor. They are at a move. Again, can I live? Probably. Is it going to hurt? Yeah. It's all going to shield anyways. And I'm at 2 X Scissors now. So throwing the first one, hoping this is enough to take it out. They do shield, and I go back to back. I thought they may have been at a move, so I just wanted to try and throw it ASAP. Had I known they were going to throw another Volt Switch, I definitely would have gotten the extra energy. But do not need it when it is a Credilli in the back. Fury Cutter X's are just outpacing super fast here. Gonna put some pressure on it. It's just a Bullet Seed. It's not going to take me down, and damage is done. Taking them to 1 HP. Crustle, a fantastic answer to Credilli. Yes, they have Rock Tomb, but those Fury Cutters X's are really adding up. Altaria, gonna stay in this matchup. You know, there's no consistency when I stay in with Flyers versus when I don't. I think it comes down to the spamminess of the opponent. So, for example, I left the Togekiss matchup because they're getting to Aura Sphere, which, sorry, someone's probably already pointed this out. I'm not double weak to fighting because I'm half bug, but it would still hurt because it's normal. It's neutral on you. I'm sure that's already been pointed out in the comments as we're like 10 minutes into this video. I'll remember to pin a comment of my own already, being like, I remember I said this, but 10 minutes in, I remember that I'm wrong. 14 minutes in, okay. Anyways, so Trailblaze. Anyways, I think the point remains. I still don't want to take a hard hitting neutral Aura Sphere, getting outpaced with the Fury Cutter being very resisted on the Flying Fairy. So I'm going to get out of that matchup, while others, I do stay in, depending on what it is. Like Altaria. So I align the Drapion on the Furret because Sucker Punch is resisted. But as you can see here, Drapion just a little glassy. That Swift doing about 50%, maybe just under. The defense falls, so they're gonna have to throw pretty quick here. I assume I let go and just try and instant swap into Crustle and just try to get some energy so I can get to some Rock Wreckers here. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. They do not get to a move, so that's huge because I just got like 5-6 Fury Cutters through. Altaria has a move. Have to throw them. Have to shield, obviously. Now it is worried about getting caught on. I think I'm going to outpace because I had those 5 to 6 extra Fury Cutters. This is why you can't get farmed down like that. And I just kind of have to throw, hoping they're not going to catch because I don't really have an option because they're almost out of move. And I do throw it. They did not catch. There's the Rock Wrecker. Here's the Fury Cutter, able to take that down too. So CRUSTLE definitely putting in some work overall, but another very, very, very tough lead. Lots of freaking flyers. I said this in the top team, so this should not be surprising. Unfortunately, that one met with I had a flyer lead and now a Pangoro on my furret, so not looking good here. But I said there's gonna be a ton of flyers in this meta, because there is bug, and there is grass, which you hit super effective against, and there is ground, which you will also do very, very well against. So that is why I mentioned that flyers should have a lot of play. And not surprising, in like 7 or 8 matchups that I've showcased so far, we have seen Togekiss and Altaria and Gyarados, and I'm pretty sure I saw Corviknight somewhere in one of these matchups too. Oh yeah, right here, double flyer team. Not what you want to see. Not what you want to see. A double flyer team here. Shield up a potential. Why am I shielding up an air cutter? I think I'm shielding up. Yeah, actually, I think I know why I'm shielding up. I don't know if it's the right move. But what I was worried is that Drapion's pretty glassy. That if I did not shield up an air cutter, they would have chipped me to the yellow, and then I'm potentially just in Shadow Dragon Breath range from Gyarados. So that's why I shielded. But the problem with that strategy is that Gyarados is just as spammy. So my only win con is essentially a catch here on CRUSTLE, and I don't even know if it's a win con anymore. See, because if I did not shield the first one, they would have had air cutter. Probably would have taken me to the. I would have been taken out already just with the Dragon Breath. So I go down there. Charizard. Yep. So maybe CRUSTLE plays a bit better in the back because you can safe swap it while also getting a bit ahead on energy. And while in neutral matchups, as you're seeing here, you don't really want to go get to Flyer with Fury Cutter X Scissor when it takes 13 to get to the Rock Wrecker. And some of these other, like Charizards and Togekiss and all these other Pokemon are spamming at a faster rate than you, even at 13, even though 13 is pretty damn quick. So maybe you play something else on the lead. Again, whether it's this team or a different team, maybe put CRUSTLE as the safe swap because it is the #1 ranked safe swap in the Jungle Cup. And I think what makes it the #1 ranked Jungle Cup safe swap is that if you do safe swap it and you get a couple, 2, 3 Fury Cutters, you're then only going to take 10, 11 to get to the first Rock Wrecker. And resist it or not, Rock Wrecker is going to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. So there is that option as well. So here we go against a Dunsparce, just taking all the moves. They do snipe with Charizard, so heads up snipe. I really want to get this Charizard out of here. So I am going to just start swifting here. We both have 2-turn fast moves, so fast move timing does not matter. Here's the first swift. They let it go. Here comes the second swift. Fury Cutter would be very resisted on the flying fire. So they let it go, which is nice. Oh, they have no shields left. That's why they let it go. So I'm going to instant swap. It is a licky in the back. And this is the spam of this thing. 13 turns to get to. And it is a beast of a move. Taking a licky to the red. If it's an earthquake, I probably get taken out. If it's a Shadow Ball, I'll live. And it's a Shadow Ball, so I do live. So they have to throw that Body Slam. Body Slam is resisted on rock. I'm in the deep red, though, so I may be taken out anyways. No, I do live with 1 HP. They tried to snipe with the Dunsparce, but I do have an X Scissor. So just going to dump this X Scissor to take this out. And then immediately get into my furret where I can Sucker Punch down before they roll out down. And then Dedenne. So I don't think I won one lead with CRUSTLE here. Like, what is a good lead? Cradilly that you hit super effective against, or any neutral matchup. But now Dedenne as an electric Pokemon, electric fairy. Fairy is what resists the bug. So I saw, like, even though I slightly went positive with this team, I think I went 6-4. We are at 6-4 with a crap ton of flyers that resisted all the Fury Cutters, and a Dedenne there as well with very, very poor leads overall. So much for safety when you have a crap ton of poor leads. But it is what it is. Getting off this next crunch here. Do flip switch. Not that it matters too much. I am going to come CRUSTLE, I think. So I'm almost just curious how much a Parabolic Charge is going to do. Just under 50%. I was hoping that I can get to a Fury Cutter before, and I can't. So this is kind of rough. I was thinking furret maybe a bit safer in the back here. X's should be enough to take out, and we'll have to see what's in the back. But I am down shields. And if I remember, it is the Talonflame or Charizard. With Ember. Gonna get a paste. They have a shield advantage. My only win con is that they try to bait. What am I doing? That was my only win con, was to let that go. So never shield that one, and I'll explain why. In a 2v1 advantage, when your opponent has Ember at that, they're just going to significantly outpace you. So even if they just went straight Blast Burn, they would outpace you 2 Blast Burns before you get to like 3 Swifts. So you're going to lose that matchup. So your only win con on this end is to hope that they do bait that Air Cutter and you live 1, that you don't need to burn a shield, and then you potentially grab a couple shields, and then you still maybe need to catch it. It's going to be tough either way, but I don't think you can shield up that one. You just have to hope your win con is that they just actually do bait like they did there. But yeah, so I should not have shielded that. Anyways, that's a team. May or may not. I'm going to assume you're going to do an event coverage this afternoon. So there is the Harvest event on this afternoon. The debut of Diplin and Hydrapple. As I'm filming this video, which is the day before this event goes live, no, it's 2 days before. I'm filming this on Wednesday and it goes Friday. Okay, so normally what I do is the day before an event goes live, which would be this afternoon, Thursday afternoon, for an event that starts Friday, I would showcase the new Pokemon. So we have a debut Pokemon in Diplin and Hydrapple. So I go to PV Poke and I look up the stats and everything. And as I'm filming right now, these Pokemon, even in the battle section, which is where they're not always in the rankings, but they're sometimes in the battle section, are not here yet. So I can push till tomorrow morning because I am working from home tomorrow morning, so I can do a video at like 8 a.m. tomorrow morning before work, worst case scenario. So I'm hoping that we would take a look at the new Pokemon debuts for this event this afternoon, and then we'll return to more Jungle Cup, while also the Community Day. I guess they do not look at the Canadian calendar Sunday, which is Thanksgiving here in Canada. So maybe a little tough to play, but we will still go over that Community Day probably on Saturday, because it is Sunday, I believe. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.